everybody became a paying customer. So I'm pretty much sure that they will become.
Well, so it sounds to me, so it's, first of all, how many people actually signed up for free trials? Or how many clicks did you get versus the people that actually signed up?
Oh, I got 10,000.
And how many signed up for a free trial? 6. Okay. So
that's why I'm saying it's
what's that?
money. I know it's money. I'm saying it's a waste of money. I think I should find a more targeted
How do you know that until they
audience.
start paying? Well, because if you have those 6 and they all 6 convert into paying clients, how much is that worth to you?
No, 6. Listen, you know, I have this application for beauty salons. So anybody can sign up, but if they don't use it every day, this means that they will not pay after the 2-month period. What I have found these almost 3 years that I have this application is that when they started using it every day of the week for about 15 days, for 2 weeks, they never stop. And they will start paying after 2 months. Since they don't stop using it, they will pay.
So then you got the 6 people, right?
Yes. And 2 of them are using it every day.
So,
yes.
All right. So I happen to agree with Josh. It's the 6 over 10,000 seems like a stupid number, and it probably is, but that's irrelevant. And that's sort of some of the stuff we're trying to talk to the other team about. You're sort of like picking the wrong things and the wrong lenses. So if you got 2 customers for $300, it doesn't really matter that you paid for 10,000 impressions or that your conversion rate was awful. If you I've been calling it a greased watermelon. The greased watermelon part is that they haven't paid you yet. You're saying that based on, you know, historical information, they're going to pay. But assuming you got 2 new customers for $300 in ads, and they really do pay you, and their lifetime value is more than $150, then it's not a waste of money.
Right.
The group is going to hold you accountable next week. I still don't think you need a 2-month trial period. I think you're still scared to move it to a month. If you're already...
let me tell you, I know this. I'm sorry. I know that they will, for the first one that is been using for more than almost a month now, more than a month, she will be paying. I'm definitely sure, because I called her too, and I'm certain she will be paying.
All right, so I'm gonna make this one quick, and then we'll let Josh and Ben go more mentoring on the next one. If you're sure that if they use it after 15 days they'll pay, then you're new. Even if it's just experimental and it's just for this group, then you have to do some sort of experiment where you charge them after 15 days, not after 2 months. You just have to. Maybe it's just for the ones that, you know, maybe you create a separate funnel and it's only for the ones that I'm funding, you know, and your other clients are yours to do it as you please. But if you're positive that they'll pay after 15 days, I'll give you the floor for 30 seconds, but I can't even think of an argument why they need to go 2 months. All of the things that we do are about speed, are about learning, are about logic and making numbers make sense. So before he goes, Ben, can you think of a reason?
Well, just as long as if they're using it every day, then they're familiarizing themselves with it, and they seem to be happy. So,
but he's saying it's not even just an onboarding thing. He's saying he literally has evidence that 100% of people who use it, you know, 90%, you know, engagement rate pay. So he's counting them as a paid user. So
right.
I hope that's true. I'm not saying it's not true, but if it's true, then they don't need the 16th day for this experiment. That's all I'm saying. But there's always a but.
If I make it 15 days, they're going to be scared.
How do you know?
How do you know?
How do you know?
How do I know? Because imagine you have a person who doesn't have a clue about computers. Usually beauty salon owners are, you know, middle-aged women from 35 to 50.
They don't have a clue, but they're using it every single day. I don't buy it. Found your ad. They clicked through on Facebook, found your ad, converted, are using it every day.
You may well be right, Andreas, but you're making assumptions that I'm not hearing. Unless there's something you're not telling us, I'm not hearing the evidence to show that they wouldn't pay. And so until you have that, why not try it? Which is what Adam's saying, but I agree.
Yeah, why not try it? Exactly.
No. Wait a second. It's a different thing. They wouldn't pay. Those who are dedicated, they would pay. But if you make the period, the free period, 15 days, then they might not even try it.
Fine.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's the most reasonable thing you've said on the call. So the public-facing trial stands at 2 months. But when you see, this is a lot of this lean startup stuff is about reacting to the evidence and the behavior behind the scenes. And when you start to see metrics, a lot of this stuff has changed in the last 5 years. We can see what our users do. It's a little bit creepy and 1984-ish, but you should then have a trigger that when the person logs in that 15th day, you just call them on the phone and say, here's a discount, if you sign up today. The same thing we should tell the Startup Booster team, your conversion rate on those, when the CEO calls them personally after 15 days and gives them a discount, your conversion rate should really be 80, 90, 100% on those. And so, sorry. The good news is that you have a very clear. You have a very clear experiment for 2 weeks, for next 2 weeks. But the bad news is it's my hypothesis. So
I can do this. I can call them and tell them, okay, you have a discount if you don't wait for the 2 month period and pay me now.
Right.
I can do this, but I'm not going to change the website saying 2 months period.
That sounds like a compromise to me. So you don't have to.
Yeah, I can do this.
All right. So of the 6 people, 2 of them have already used it every day?
Every day.
All right. So get one of them to pay by next call.
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
Deal.
I will.
All right. Arvin, jump in. Andreas, you're always a good sport. I owe you a beer. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Arvin, last one, and then we'll go back to the Startup Booster folks. Oh, he had a great experiment, great learnings. All right, I blogged a little. I cut and pasted his Facebook comments, and I posted it right on my blog. So I might have to promote. If anyone has questions about his experiment, he has some great learnings. He's doing some stuff with rechargeable batteries, renewable energy for rickshaw drivers in India. I mean, it's really great stuff. He was talking to customers. He was learning things. It was not just pure lean, cus dev, but it was observation stuff. I think he's doing a great job. I wish that we could get him on the call. And he was here. It wasn't like one of those ones where we know it's never going to work. All right, maybe he had to jump off.
There were a couple other people on the chat that wanted a shot. If you wanted to take that 10 minutes to do that, to open it up.
Well, we definitely have a couple of Josh's folks, so they have first dibs.
Okay.
Cool. Banadzem, is he here? He actually gets the floor if he's here. If not, let's also just take a minute to focus on mentors on him, see if we can get him funded. Still not sure exactly what he's doing, but I know that the effort is there and he's actually going by the book. So, all right, so let's keep respect to his experiment. We'll see where that ends up. But let's get a couple more Josh's folks. So Josh, you're on.
Okay, cool. Hey, Benjamin Conard, if you want to go ahead and take a seat, just click that open seat button. Hop on in. Yeah, he's still there. Cool.
All right.
Cool.
Hey, guys.
So Benjamin and I have been workshopping an experiment around his startup. So I will, Benjamin, why don't you do this? Give us just the 1 or 2 sentence value proposition of what you're doing. Run through the experiment as we structured it, what you'd like to do, and then I'll shut up for a few and let Adam and Ben chime in, since they don't have they haven't had the conversations we've had, so we'll want to hear their input from an open-ended thing. So go ahead.
Sure. Okay. So my team and I are starting a fair trade chocolate company that pairs antioxidant-rich dark chocolate with today's hottest superfoods in a convenient, simple snack form. So we'll be targeting both health-conscious and socially conscious consumers. And the experiment that we would like to run is running around a $500 Facebook advertisement to display our product offering, ideally to a demographic who is already health and socially conscious, likely women from the age of 18 to 35. But we would look more into that demographic as we receive data on who is clicking on our advertisements. And we would expect that if we run a $500 advertisement, we would receive 200 clicks on the ad, which would bring them to our website, and potentially 50 signups.
And they would sign up for what?
For our email list, to be notified when we go live.
Nope. I was going to be easier on you for cust-deving. It's a known problem, so I still want you to cust-dev. It's new, but it's still food, and it's even health food, and I'm totally on board. It sounds actually really good, and I might be a customer. So I was going to go easier on you with cust-dev. You don't necessarily have to prove that they have a problem. Sorry, we got phones, we got dogs, we got crying babies. Hold on. Just panel me. Ben, go teach him something in the next 30.
Okay. I wanted to know where Adam, you were going with that, but you expect what you said is 200 clicks and 50 signups, but there's a problem with that. Adam,
I'm back.
You're back.
Well, the first thing I was going to say, if you're selling something, this is not like a service where it's let us know when you launch. If they want the chocolate bar, they got to buy it. That's your metric. They got to click buy now, order now. It's not like
how much is a chocolate bar? It's $5.
It would actually be a pouch of chocolate drops.
Okay, and how much
probably
would it cost
around
for a
between
pouch?
$4 and $6.
And how quick could you have that produced in 2 then? What's your capacity there?
Right now?
Yes.
You could immediately. Oh.
I could not. No, I was asking if you meant right now.
No, I'm asking what if I click buy right now, what's the timeline for you to be able to, even if I just click pre-order, how quick could you have that to me?
It would be in the next few months. We are meeting with a pilot production facility in the next couple of weeks.
And can you make any of them in a non-scale? I know you're relatively new to the group, but I also know you're coming through Josh, and he knows the ropes, and I know you're sort of watching on the sidelines, and you're in the Trill Vouch house. So if you in a non-scalable way, could you make 10 of these? Could you make 5?
Yeah.
Make 1?
Yes.
So then there's your experiment. I'll waive some of the cust-dev. You don't need to go around the streets and be like, do you like chocolate? But for other people listening, there's still a lot of stuff around segmentation that you could learn by going to Whole Foods. So I still kind of want you to talk to 10 people, but I'm not going to mandate it since you're coming on the call through Josh.
I'm having him do that as part of our work, so I'll make sure that he does.
Good. All right. But the experiment is, you want to know price. You want to know if they're willing to order. They got to be willing to order a chocolate bar for somewhere between $4 and $10. At some point, you can be testing suppliers and coffee shops and Whole Foods, stuff like that. There's a coffee shop that it's $9 chocolate bars, but the coffee is fair trade, so the chocolate's fair. I mean, there is a market for this stuff.
Yeah.
But no way are we going to let you off the hook with give us your email address if you're maybe interested in chocolate in 6 months. Let's see. The epitome of what we're trying to avoid. We want to go faster. We want to get, even if it's not the answer we're looking for, we want that answer faster.
Sure.
and two very good opportunities to learn about speed and non-scalable. And if you get the demand through the roof, you're going to find how much easier it is, to get a vendor, to get distribution, to get people to invest in infrastructure faster, because you're going to have evidence to show them that this is a real deal. Nobody wants, and again, I have to find better ways of saying this, but nobody gives a shit. Like if you have 150 emails, like the scale startups now, like 100 million, like Twitter is going down the drain because they don't have a billion users. Like nobody cares about 1,000 email addresses or even 10,000 or even 100,000, or you need like millions of active users, or you just need people,
Can I jump in real quick, Adam? Yeah. So I would also, for me, when it comes to a chocolate bar, it comes down to just simply paying customers. And if you're going to be trying to do a Facebook ad, trying to find people, like Adam was saying, that just simply like chocolate, or maybe it's more aligned with the values, which you see a lot more of. I mean, now fair trade chocolate is pretty much the standard, and it's what I buy. The challenge that I think you're going to have, or I think maybe even the path that I would choose, is getting chocolate in people's hands right now. And like as fast as you can. I mean, yes, you need to get your you need to start creating basically a customer base. And I personally would think that going online would be kind of backwards. Like you want to build a customer base by talking to people at Whole Foods or wherever, and then sending them to your website, and then getting them to order a case of pouches. Just because chocolate is something you have to feel and taste and know that it's better than. I mean, at my local tiny little grocery stores around the corner, there's 30 different kinds of chocolates that I can choose from. I'm in Montreal, and so I think maybe there's a chocolate obsession here. But I see that's happening throughout the U.S. And I was just listening to another podcast with Seth Godin and Tim Ferriss, and he was pitching two of his favorite, fair trade chocolates. So you got some stiff competition. I would focus on your local people that can test it right now or try it right now.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Sometimes we get, and I'm guilty of this too, like this Facebook money. It's like the only thing that people can spend our money on is Facebook ads. So that's where they sort of get, and there is some value of it because it forces a hand, like we saw with the startup coaching team. So it is a lot easier to track, and then I can see like, if you just go to Whole Foods, you could sort of lie to me about how many people you talk to, and you wouldn't be lying, but you'd be exaggerating. Oh, it was slow that day. Oh, but Ben's right. I mean, selling chocolate on the internet until you're a known brand. I was going to say the same thing. We don't push doing anything illegally, especially with like food health and health, but it doesn't seem like a regulated thing. Just make sure it's clean and sanitize, and go sell 10, get one sample or something. You just got to go in person and make one sale, and then 5 sales, and then 10 at a specific price, and you got to talk to these people, and you got to get their reaction. It's not an online marketing thing. Well, you can still, on the side if you want to, and if you have those kind of skills. I definitely wouldn't let you pay a web designer to go build you a brand. Mm-hmm. But if you have those kind of skills, there's no reason why you couldn't, you could start to see it with good photography. And I'm always pushing the opposite of design, but this with food, it needs to be perfectly designed, perfectly photographed. And at least that's my hypothesis. Maybe you could get away with less, but I'm always pushing less. In this case, you need to really convince me why I'm buying this chocolate bar, or tell a story. Who's the farmer? Who's the farmer? Why am I buying this from you? I agree with Ben. There's a market by me, not even just a coffee shop. They literally, I think, have 45 different flavors and not just flavor. Each one has the 10 different flavors, but there's 10 different brands. There's literally 100 different choices, and it's not just chocolate or fair trade. There's all fair trade. It's all organic. Yep. It's all this. Yep. Dark chocolate is a new thing. I know it's healthy. I'm on board with the product, but you got to prove that they'll buy it from you, that you can build a brand, that buy it at the price. Sure. All right, but I think this was helpful.
Thank you.
And it's the kind of stuff we want to be talking about going forward. So as always, Josh, thanks for bringing him in. I think you got one more.
Good luck.
Got one more guy.
Yeah, Ben Block, if you want to take a seat.
And Adam and Josh and everyone else, I need to jump. So sorry I had till 2 o'clock my time, but I'm afraid I have to sign off.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think we're going to go much longer. I was putting these on for half an hour. I think going forward,
longer than that.
Now, I think an hour every other week is probably going to be where we rest. We'll get more and we'll get better and better at. I think it sort of worked where I was able to go down the line and say, okay, this was the hypothesis. What happened? So maybe to really get a seat going forward, there'll be a little stiffer competition where you know. In the beginning, I just wanted bodies to show up, but now it might be if you want to get. We'll keep giving you feedback in Facebook, but if you want to see it on this call, yeah, maybe there's a bounty if you don't show up. First of all, so maybe you have to pay $100 if you RSVP and don't show up. But you need to have stated a very testable hypothesis, and you need to have results. Ben, thanks always. This is awesome.
Cool. Thank you. All right. Good luck,
Ben.
everyone. Talk to you soon.
All right, Ben Block. Now
we got a lot of Bens.
Yeah, I know there are too many. It's hard to keep track of.
Are there? Sorry, before you guys start, are there any other? I like to do this. I used to do this in my offline workshops too. Either Bob or someone else. Part of this community. The only way this is going to scale is not just the money. It's with you guys helping each other out. Does Bob? You want to take a mentor seat, or is someone else? Even if we've never met you before, if you want to take a mentor seat, whoever takes it first. Okay, never mind. If someone wants to take the mentor seat, we'll open it up. Otherwise, Josh, you try to tease everything out of him, and I'll object or help out only when absolutely necessary.
Sounds good. Well, yeah, Ben, I want to have you just do 2 quick things. Kind of same thing that Benjamin did. In 1 or 2 sentences, give us your main value proposition. And then I know when we last left off, we were workshopping that experiment, and I think we're getting close. I just want you to zero in on, you had several different things that you would want to test around messaging. Let's try to zero in on the one that you think is most critical to test right now.
Sure. So
I can't resist, but then I'm really going to shut up. Start with the problem you're solving instead of with the other one with chocolate. It was actually the first time where the value proposition actually made more sense than the problem you're solving. But just for repetition and for muscle memory, we're going to always start with either the problem we're solving, and then I like where you're going with the experiment, and then I'm really going to shut up.
Okay, so I kind of have 2 user segments. So Josh is pretty familiar with the idea, but I kind of have a business platform and then sort of public-facing network individual segment. So Josh, I was hoping to kind of get your thoughts on what the best experiment. I've got a pretty clear idea of what I could do for both of them. So from the corporate side, which is basically our revenue stream in the short term and appealing to me in that sense, we make it quicker and easier for companies with social responsibility programs to engage their staff in those programs, measure the outcomes, and share them publicly. So we've got a web-based platform that allows them to do that, kind of using social networking tools and gamification tools and that kind of thing to achieve that objective. And then kind of parallel to that, we've got this individual sort of LinkedIn for social good idea that people can get involved, find ways to volunteer, get kind of participate in their community that works for their schedule, their interests, their skills. And then again, kind of like the company does, track what they've accomplished, share that. The dream is kind of people have a goes around profile like they have a LinkedIn profile. So when you're job hunting or out in the community, people can see what you've done and you can see what you've done. So those are kind of our 2 segments, the individual user and the business user. I think the experiments I've toyed with for each are online advertising, and one other Facebook would make more sense to me from an individual perspective, but I was thinking maybe LinkedIn ads for the business side.
Let's isolate the business side, and what is you talked about the solution that you have. What is the problem that they face? What is their pain point right now? Because I know you've talked to some businesses. So what are the pains that they express to you around this?
Sure. So what I've heard fairly frequently is, especially in a particular size of company, the more I've talked to, the more I've found that the really huge companies, like the 10,000 plus employee companies, have basically, their comments to me back have been, yeah, we like what you're doing. You do some things we don't, but we're too entrenched with kind of the internal tools we've crafted. But in like the 200 to say 5,000 employee company size, they've typically adopted volunteer or employee volunteer programs, but they don't have any real metrics around that. So they're sort of guesstimating how many hours they're generating, and they've also commented that they have challenges on informing their staff of those programs and engaging them in them. So, for example, like many companies will give a grant to a charity if you volunteer a certain number of hours with that charity. But they've said, we don't have the participation in that we know we should, because people just don't know about it, don't track their own hours, don't know when they qualify or what to do next. And we can do kind of answer all of that within Goes Around.
So, so just restate in one sentence, what's the problem that they face? I think I get it. But
your furrowed brow tells me I did not answer your question.
No, you did. In one sentence, tell me what is the problem that they have? These HR.
Their problem is understanding the return on investment of their or employee volunteer programs.
Okay, perfect. Great. Love it. Good stuff. And then, so in terms
Smiles,
of, yeah, nice. In terms of the ad, the action you would want them to take, is there a free trial or what's?
Yeah, so this being like a business-to-business platform, it doesn't seem to be particularly self-serve. So we're asking, the outcome I would want is to request a demo.
Got it. Perfect. Okay. So then let's go ahead and put that. And I think you're right. I think LinkedIn's the place to go if we're trying to connect with these businesses, at least like that. So what are your thoughts in terms of a metric? Let's put a number. If we get so many clicks, how many demos will you get out of that?
Yeah, I don't have a really good feel for what my conversion rate is going to be yet. Like I could guess and tell you that I would like to get 25 demo requests, but like right now I've just been doing like slow direct contact with people, and the response rate has actually been pretty high. Like I think I sent 10 out this morning and I got one back already asking to talk next week. So and then I'd say we're probably getting 10% response rate.
And these are cold? They don't know you?
They're cold, yeah. It's like using that LinkedIn InMail.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I think then, Ben and Adam, I'll let you chime in now, but I think we've isolated. Okay.
No problem. Spontaneous delivery.
Oh, no problem. I think we've isolated the problem, and I agree. I think the corporate model from everything we've discussed and the interviews you've had is the one we want to test. I think what you and I need to do now offline and then get back with the group next week is figure out what that number looks like in terms of how many clicks to a LinkedIn ad and then how many conversions off of that, and then get that budget. And that's essentially where I think we take it. What about you, Adam?
Yeah, I think a lot of times we're slowing people down, but it's for a reason. And if you're already getting the demo conversions, we're also trying to maximize learning. I don't know that you're going to learn a lot more. I would maybe even go the other way and see if you can cobble together a demo and maybe track the people. And this is where we get into the concierge MVP kind of thing. Maybe take one client, take their money, and actually see, before you build the whole site, can you actually deliver, or maybe there's a step in between a demo and a delivery, but maybe you can get them to sign an LOI for what would it be, a per license, like would you charge a license? Like how would you charge?
So it's variable to how big the company is.
Yeah, it sounds scary, and the people, it's easier for me to say, in the comfort of my own home and behind a blab wall than the people out there doing it. But that's the next move. I don't think you're gonna. I agree that the standard for most people, if I'd be thrilled to say, oh, just pick a number and keep testing a conversion rate for a free trial. I think you're doing the exact right things. I think you're in good hands. Josh has gotten you. I agree with the segmentation. You finally got the value proposition and the problem, kind of distilled and what I don't know if it's correct, but it's correct in structure. But if you're getting already responses from cold emails, you're onto something. But people are like, even Andreas is scared to make them pay, in 15 days. I think you gotta prove the next sort of somewhere the next step.
That's what, where I've kind of my sticking point right now is I'm trying to find the ideal, I guess, company size. I think I've burnt selling to large companies is slow, and it's taking me sometimes 4 months to get to a we can't afford it or can we look at it next quarter, and I just waited a quarter to get to let's wait till next quarter. So I've been wondering if maybe I should be targeting smaller, Josh and I talked a bit about maybe the startup market or the tech sector that kind of moves a little faster and gets this stuff a little faster than large 10,000 plus companies. But I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
I like pivoting your customer segment if you've learned, if you've actively learned that they have the problem more. I get nervous when someone chases down, corporate, and then they just get tired of waiting for the cycles, and then they just arbitrarily say, well, this is dumb. Startups move faster, therefore I'm just going to sell to this person when they have totally different problems.
Right. I guess I don't want to suggest that I've just gotten impatient with it. The patience is a challenge at times, but the large companies I've talked to, Intuit, EA, Electronic Arts, Enbridge is a Canadian pipeline company. These 10,000 plus companies, they'll give me the time of day, but where I've ended up falling off the rails with them is they are very entrenched with what they're doing now. So the segment, I basically shrunk the company size that I'm trying to target in response to that, like I was referencing earlier, hopefully the theory is they're big enough to have the programs, but small enough or young enough not to have developed anything to measure or manage them yet.
Yeah. So the bigger ones are they have the problem, but it's being solved, and therefore they don't really need you. So yeah, I think let's at least do a formal. Let's at least look at numbers, because they always change when someone else is looking at them. It's 10%. I'm not saying again that your accounting is off, but it's always and I'm the same way. If I have to then report, if you have to report to this group in 2 weeks, let's look at what a fresh round of numbers looks like, and then we'll make a decision. So I think the new segment makes sense. Let's continue with the you have a website already, right?
Yep.
And we can start. Part of the thing that we're starting to do is try to get you some traffic, not just spam it out there, but targeted traffic organically also. So we've been testing that with Deanna. We'll do the same for you. Just as a bonus, I could probably get you to talk to someone at Pearson. Again, that's in your original customer segment. That's probably too slow, but just so you can, so I can learn something too from what you're doing.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
All right. So, but I don't want you to go back to that segment. I think let's focus on this segment. I think, how many interviews have you done with the new segment? Just one-on-one?
Maybe 5. There's the tough part is a little bit, not to give you an excuse, but it's a little bit challenging to drill down to the right person in these companies and get them on the phone and that. So my interview process has been a little bit slow, but once you get to them, and Josh, you've been talking a bit about the sharing the why gets them on your side. And even the no's I've gotten have been, hey, call me and I'll give you input, or, it doesn't mean we won't look at this in a couple of years, but I need to find a segment that's ready to go sooner, I think.
And that's one thing, Ben, you and I have been talking about together on a Skype call to run through LinkedIn, some strategies. And I think we really need to do that, because I have some strategies that I think will work really well for you to isolate that and to get those conversations going. So,
sure.
So we can do that offline. I think that'll be really helpful for getting these numbers.
Okay.
And I've said that, I'll push back a little bit, and I've said, if people really have the problem, they'll respond. And I think even in this case specifically, some of the people that you're trying to contact are sort of the underdogs at their company anyway. No one even in their own company is sort of listening to them, because they have other shit to do. So I think it's even a better case for you, but the expectation's higher because it gives you less of an excuse. Because I think these people actually are looking for ways to like make it fun or like
kind of make some noise
see
in
other
something
people
that they overlook sometimes. Yeah, that's a good point.
like so. Yeah, I think that adds a little bit more pressure to you actually, and takes away some of your excuse. But I also think that it shows something on your side. Like those people, they want the people their company to listen to. I don't think shouldn't be as hard for you to find these people and even get them on the phone. It's not like like some like, and I'm not saying CEOs are better, but like it's not like some hot shot that you're trying to like sell them $1 million thing that like I'm not articulating.
I know what you mean.
I think these people should be. All right, cool. So Josh is going to work with you on the exact hypothesis and getting that logged down. I think we have some really good stuff. Obviously, if we're an hour and a half into this call, I think we're on the right track. Let's keep let's get another very, very specific hypothesis that the girls are going to test in 2 weeks and report back. And we want the whole community is going to hold them accountable. And we're not just picking on them. Andreas is getting at least the whole community is going to hold Andreas accountable for one of those people paying within 2 weeks. And this is not a huge metric. So for the girls, we're going to do the same thing with them. I don't care what it is, but I want to keep Josh on the line. And Ben, you can stay on as a mentor. All right, Daria.
And real quick, I'm sorry about this, but I've left my charger somewhere, and I might die off here in just a few. Sorry about that.
You have 3 minutes, or you think you have 10?
Probably about 3. I'm at 5%.
All right, go get it. It'll probably take her a couple minutes to get back.
I'm not going to be able to unless there's any way I can get in on my phone. I don't have. It's the way I left my office by accident.
Andreas, you don't need more money to get those two people, but if you get one of them to pay, then yes, I will pay for more. And again, I'm not paying. It's not free money. You guys owe me. You guys owe me equity in all of your companies, or you're gonna pay back the next round of entrepreneurs in this program. But yes, Andreas, you don't need more money to get the one of those two people to pay. You just need to say, "Hello, this is Andreas. I know that you've been using my product for 15 days straight. The trial period is coming up. At the end of 2 months, it's $2,000, but if you pay now, it's $500. If everything you said is true, that should be the easiest phone call that's ever made. All right, I'm going to be just as tough on the girls. I know you're not. I'm just saying it. We've got other people listening as well. All right, Daria, here's your chance. We've gone back and forth with this team for a while. All right, jump on, take a seat. Take a seat. It says open seat. You should be able to get in. Oh no, this is the problem we had with you last time. Okay, so write your hype, and everyone else, if you want to drop off, we're going to do this every 2 weeks. There's a Facebook group. Most of the people here are not random. They're already in the community. It's called the Milval Chow. We are funding people to do cust dev and to run experiments. Yeah, I don't think there's that many people that are still listening. So, all right. Daria, what's a thing that we can hold you accountable that's as specific as one of Constantino? Search for Milval Chow on Facebook or Twitter. You'll find it. We'll add you, and you can follow this channel for the next call, and then we'll definitely get you in. All right, Daria. Something as specific as one of two people will pay $499. Let's start. It doesn't need to be right, but let's see you write something. What are we holding you accountable for in 2 weeks? And all right, you can do better than that. There's no numbers. We're not getting frustrated with you, but
Yeah, how many clicks do you want off the advertisement, and how many people will convert, will sign up? Two to three. Yeah, but how many will sign up for the webinar?
Well, the other problem is that 2 to 3 from 100 won't pay. So unless you change something, because we already have 800, and that would mean that 16 to 24 people would pay and 0 did. So either something we either need to hear what's different that 2 to 3 would pay out of 100.
Well, I think one thing, if I can chime in, that could be different is it might get to that credibility piece. If you're getting someone on a webinar, I can see how you could test whether or not it would be better to do that as opposed to the landing page. If someone hits a cold landing page versus spends an hour with you, I think the person who spends an hour with you potentially could be more likely to pay, but that's maybe what you're testing.
Okay, so that's the test. So they're Josh in Europe,
pretty much,
and not for social good. Okay, so that's the experiment. So how many people? We've been saying one thing at a time, but what's the 2-part funnel? How many people do? It's exactly Josh's experiment. Tell us how many people are gonna sign up for their free webinar. How many people are gonna take it? You need to do it with it. You need to hold it within by next Thursday. Otherwise, we're really just spinning our wheels. So how many people will sign up for the webinar by next Thursday? How many people will take the webinar by next Thursday? Well, because we even want to know the sales numbers. We don't want to keep going slow. Let's see the numbers. Nope. Now, or we're going to cut you off of the ads. How many? We need 3 numbers from you before you go. How many people are going to join the webinar by next Thursday? How many people are going to sign up? How many people are going to show up? And how many people of those will pay within a week after the webinar? We need those 3 numbers. I'll even be on YouTube as a bad guy. The funds it's like when I'm going to cut off my 15-year-old daughter from her allowance. 3 numbers.
There we go.
1,000, 300 to sign up. How many will show up for the webinar? 100 to join the webinar, and 2 of 3 will pay. How much are they going to pay? The same $1,400 for the same class? Same $1,400. Okay, now we have an experiment. Your funds are, although they're not. All right, I don't know what the 2 parts are, but we'll take that offline. All right.
David, I don't know if this is against the spirit of the experiment, but the only thing I would say is 1,000 to click with 300 to sign up. You're talking about a 30% conversion rate. You might want to think about lowering that a little bit.
It doesn't fit her model, so I agree with you. But at least we have. I agree with you. But at least now it's more than just me. Now we're really starting to get numbers and other people. And if I have,
we'd all love that.
All right. On that note, we're just going to do a quick close and just hang up. Later, everyone.
Peace.